Today I've got something different for you guys. I'm going to be unboxing a Japanese micro brand watch from Knot. I think Knot is a particularly interesting brand. Not only are their watches made here in Japan, but pretty much everything about them really delves deep into Japanese culture and artistry and heritage. The watch that I'm going to be unboxing for you today is an urushi dial watch that has a really beautiful finish on it. And it's part of a Kickstarter campaign that Knot is launching. They're calling it the Musubu project. Musubu is a Japanese word that means to connect or to join together. I think the idea here is that they're trying to join together the Japanese artistry and craftsmanship in their watches with the outside world. The Kickstarter campaign is already live, but there's still some early bird pricing left, and they're a pretty darn good deal for what they're offering. And finally to note, they did send me this watch for free to keep, which is why you saw the paid promotions flag at the beginning of this video. All right, let's open it up and see what Knot is all about. All right, so before we get into the watch, the package also came with this nice little fabric bag containing some material, which I know this is often boring, but it's going to become important later on in this review. You'll see why. So we get a catalog book. This is not as important. The strap catalog, this is something that is going to be more important because I believe they've sent me 3 different straps in here, and as you can see, they have just a huge selection of straps. These straps are all made in Japan. They're made in various places and prefectures out of different fabrics and materials. So that's one of the cool things about this brand is that they are trying to connect, different aspects of Japanese culture to the rest of the world. At least that's the goal of this particular Musubu collection. All right, so here is the watch. It's going to be in this box, or the Musubu project, which is a Kickstarter. Seems to be the idea of kind of connecting Japan to the rest of the world. So this is something that is, the Knot is primarily in Japan, and they're a Japanese brand, so you see them here, but not as much outside of Japan, and they want to fix that. And that's why they've created this special collection and done the Kickstarter project. So we'll go ahead and get into the unboxing here. See their logo, Musubu. It's a knot. You get the idea. Okay, and so in here, we're going to get our first look at the watch. Nice little presentation there. Okay, so we can get a nice close-up view of the watch now. The dial is, I think, the big star of the show here. This is an urushi Japanese lacquer dial. This one done in red, very traditional shade of red for Japanese lacquer. It often come in black as well as another typical color. And you can see this one has been decorated with that kind of sparkling scatter of what looks like gold dust. Again, another common way that Japanese lacquer products are embellished and decorated. Inside, this is powered by an Epson YN movement. You can see that it has a 24-hour subdial as well as a power reserve and an open heart complication. So kind of a nice set of complications. And I think it suits the style of this watch well with that really stunning lacquer dial and then the open heart kind of giving it a little bit of extra visual interest. The Epson YN series of movements, I believe these are related to the movements that Orient puts in their watches. Orient makes their own movements, but Orient is owned by the Seiko Epson Corporation. So the Epson movements, I believe that they share the same or similar architecture and manufacturing places. So it's a good, solid Japanese movement inside of here. And some very interesting complications. Power reserve is always nice, so you can see how much you need to wind it. One thing I'm noticing while winding the crown is that it's a very small crown. For a dress watch style watch like this, that's to be expected, but it's actually not too difficult to wind. I've seen other watches that are much more difficult to wind. You see that power reserve going up as I wind the watch. If you're at all familiar with Japanese lacquerware products, you'll instantly recognize the finish here. Urushi, if you are not aware, it's actually made out of a tree sap that is mildly toxic, so it is a skin irritant. It's similar to like poison ivy or poison oak, so people have to be very careful when they're working with urushi or with processing the sap to make the lacquer. From what I heard, urushi is produced in the area of Japan that I live in. I live in Tohoku region, which is northeastern Japan. That's one of the things that kind of particularly draws me to urushi dials. Printing is very sharp. I like the Dolphin handset. The handset looks very high quality, very sharp and angled. You got some nice bevels going on there. Really beautiful accents on the subdials. Really well done dial, especially for the price that they're asking here. Case back is solid with just a small window. You can kind of see the rotor going around, and then you can also see that open heart. So depending on where the rotor is, you can sometimes see completely through, which is kind of cool. The case is completely polished, fairly flat sides with a little bit of a bowl shape on the bottom. You can see that it very easily picks up oils and fingerprints from my hand since I'm not wearing gloves. But if you're actually purchasing this watch, that's something that you will experience. Let's get some quick dimensions here. Getting 38 millimeters across, so it's a fairly compact watch. It looks larger than that because of the expansive dial there and the narrow bezel. Lug to lug is about 46, and we're getting 18 millimeter lug openings, which actually proportionally looks pretty good on this watch, getting right around 11 millimeters thick. So speaking of those 18 millimeter lugs, they are just begging for a strap to be fitted, and let's go ahead and see which straps Knot has included in this. Okay, so if we open this up, got a little bit more. A little package here thanking us for our purchase, but these are the straps. These are the things that we are interested in. We have 1, 2, 3 straps that they have sent us today. And these are 3 very unique looking straps. Let's go ahead and get them out and we'll see which ones we got. Okay, so first we have a very simple dressy black leather strap. And they're telling us which one we got. So this is Tochigi leather, which is very nice leather. Tochigi is famous for their leather, and this is very high quality leather that is being used here, made in Japan, not branding there on the back of it. Very classic strap, very nice finish on the black leather here. This is a pretty cool strap to have. Interesting buckle design here, very flat tang and kind of an interesting hinge design. So my Japanese reading is not the greatest, but I can read some of this because this is basically English words. It says furubeji taru tanning reza. Full vegetable tanning leather is what it says there in Japanese pronunciation. So that's kind of cool that they include the little tag there from the place. Each strap looks like some information from the manufacturer. And Japanese craftsmanship, Japanese craftsmen tend to take a lot of pride in their products, and so this is cool to see. This is the next one. So I would have, looking at this in the package, I would have thought this was nylon, but this doesn't feel like nylon. And this is a very beautiful woven red, white, and blue strap. Unlike any strap I've seen, it's very, very soft and flexible. See if we can glean any information. Okay, so one thing I can read here is that says shiruku, which means silk. So this is actually a silk strap. Again, very, very unique. You don't see silk straps very often. Japanese silk is another material that is very prized here in Japan, and Japan is famous for its silk work. So that's another kind of very distinctly cultural thing to see there. It's interesting. You can see that the Knot logo is woven into here. So this is a strap that was commissioned by Knot. All right, one more strap to go. All right, so this is yet another very unique strap. Again, never had a strap anything like this. The top is, it does feel like you've got an embossed effect here. It's definitely, this pattern is raised there. It looks like it's probably painted on, but it has a little bit of a 3D effect. You can definitely feel those petals. This is like a flower motif. It is a leather strap. And again, we've got some information here. Inden Yamamoto. And as near as, yeah, I can read some of this. This says the same thing in kanji up above, Inden no Yamamoto, which I'm not that familiar with this one in particular, so we would have to do a little bit more research. If you go to Knot's website, they have in English information on each of the locations where these straps are manufactured. Again, this is a very unique, very beautiful strap. Leather feels high quality, brilliant red with gold painting to put this, looks like a cherry blossom or sakura motif. Very beautiful strap to go with it. You know, obviously, I think I personally would view this as a more feminine strap, but I could see, you know, if you're a guy, you could probably rock this as well. And we'll give it a shot because let's go ahead and start pairing the watch with the different straps and see what it looks like. So we're going to start off with the black strap. This is the Tochigi leather strap. It's nice that they put quick release spring bars on here, which is, you know, great. Particularly if you are making a collection that focuses so heavily on straps. So you can see here, this is on just a very classic black strap. Works great with the that deep red. There is a bit of a taper here, very elegant strap. Again, this is something that, you know, you might think that this is maybe for geared towards people with smaller wrists, maybe a more unisex style, but the strap fits me perfectly. I've got enough room for the tail to be over there. So now I have a 7.5-inch wrist, so easily fits there. So this is maybe one of your safest options when it comes to straps here, is just to go with a very high quality leather, simple black strap here. And then let the dial really draw the attention. And this is a very attention-getting dial, so that would make sense. All right, and here we are on the silk strap. So you are getting leather accents here where it hits the lugs, leather keepers as well. It kind of looks like a NATO strap at a glance, but it feels totally different. It's much softer, much more supple than a NATO strap. That silk is extremely flexible. Silk is also very strong, so that's an interesting material you don't see used for watch straps very often, but theoretically, it should perform pretty well. But very soft, fluid, flexible strap. And it has a very unique texture, too, on there with the stitching. Nice use of colors. And yeah, you get a little bit of a red tie-in with the red dial and the red threads. So I don't know if that's the one I would personally use it with, but it is, again, very, very cool one here. So there you have it on there. In some ways, I feel like this matches the dial the best, just so you're getting that red and gold, really leaning into the red and gold on the dial as well. Yeah, I don't think I personally would go with this. Just because, again, to me, this strikes me as a little bit more of a feminine strap combination. But it is a very beautiful strap, very high quality, very well made. And I think seeing it on these various straps, you can really see that this is truly a unisex watch. You can, you know, mix and match it, really change the personality with the straps that are there. Personally, I think this is probably how I would wear it, just because I like to keep things simple. And again, I like the idea of a simple black leather strap like this, really allowing the dial to draw most of the attention. I think the dial is attention-getting enough that a simple strap really works well on this. So I was looking over at the website and some of the materials that they sent over, and it looks like some of the work that was done on this watch was done up in
my region. So again, I live in Tohoku. They're saying it looks like they have a watch manufacturer. So the assembly is possibly done in Akita Prefecture, which is near me. And the case manufacturing is probably done down in Fukushima, which is 2 prefectures south of me. Tohoku region is a very rural part of Japan. So it's out in a very naturally beautiful places. It's not like a highly industrial or urban place. And so to me, that's kind of cool that some of this really high-end manufacturing would come out of, a place like this. And that's one of the things I know, at least a lot of the Japanese watch manufacturers, they do have their manufacturing out here, outside of the big cities, outside of the big industrial areas. Some of that might have to do with cost, but yeah, I know at least like in Seiko's mind, they like the idea of putting their watch designers and manufacturer out in the middle of really beautiful places in Japan, hoping that will draw some inspiration in the actual design work. And that to me is a really cool concept as well, because Tohoku is an absolutely beautiful part of the world. I mean, I grew up in California. I love California, but it's just a totally different kind of environment out here. And so I kind of have a soft spot for a project like this that is clearly putting so much of Japan's essence and heart into the design and the different products. And I love this idea of representing different areas of Japan with the straps and the manufacturing, because that's something that is very Japanese. It seems like every city, every prefecture, they have something that they're proud of. And so that's one of the fun things about visiting different parts of Japan is everywhere you go, there's going to be something that they specialize in, that area is proud of, that they have a high degree of craftsmanship in. And you get a little bit of a taste of that in a project like this, where they're taking different things from different prefectures and different cities and then bringing it all together into a watch project and then taking that project and then introducing it to the world. I think it's a really cool idea.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up the video for today. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you're interested in picking up this watch, you can still get it on the Kickstarter for a really great introductory price. Like I said, Knot is already pretty well established here in Japan, so I wouldn't have many concerns about backing this particular Kickstarter. I think they're a pretty safe brand to go with, and they've already met their Kickstarter goal, so this is definitely going to be going into production. Really cool watch, really soaked in Japanese heritage. If you're interested in seeing more videos about Japanese watches like this one, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Or if you want to pick up a watch-themed t-shirt, I just upload a bunch of new designs like this one over on my website at justthewatch.com. Do me a favor, head over, check those out. But that will wrap up the video for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.